Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you find this at times. Welcome to Ramblings After Running. Did a 5K today. It's not bad. Definitely felt a lot of tightness in my lower back, hamstrings. Legs felt like 75 pounds a piece, I swear. But overall good. I want to touch on something. This is something that my wife and I feel pretty passionate about, and we talk about pretty often, that we see in life, in culture. I come across it quite often, unfortunately, in my line of work. But it really comes down to us people that have created little people, and we're bringing them into this world, whether it be, that parenthood dynamic. I think you have a responsibility ultimately to yourself, because what I see a lot of times is parents are trying to fix themselves through their children. And it happens in a lot of different ways. Some, I think they force to live in a way that they did or they wanted to, thinking that they need to continue some cycle, I guess, because they can't break out of it, even though they know that's not what they wanted for themselves. Or they push them or connect with them in some kind of dynamic that becomes like codependency. And then their happiness is tied into one another, that they can't be happy without the other. And that whole codependency dynamic just gets so unhealthy, where the child feels like they can't be happy without the parent, and vice versa. And then later on, the kid has to unpack that for, decades, I would imagine, just to figure out who I am. And I think a lot of times, as the parent role, you really need to do yourself a favor and do some self-development without pulling your kid into your madness, because there's a lot of kids out there that are just screaming for attention, but the attention they're getting is not the dynamic they need, because the parent is so caught up in their own that they really can't get down on the level of the child to see what they really need. And it's kind of sad, because if you just sit down with them and listen, just seriously listen to what your kid wants, it's pretty simple. They just want your undivided, focused love and attention, because so much of it is just learning through play. But be mindful, your kid, they're watching you, and they're learning. They're soaking that stuff up like a sponge. So do yourself a favor and take the responsibility to fix yourself, whether that's therapy, whether that's talking with a dear friend, whether it's getting out into nature, whether it's whatever that you connect with that helps you heal. You've got a responsibility to find it, because, man, our kids have a lot of work ahead of them, and this world's not getting any easier. So last thing we need to do is be passing our trauma or our garbage onto our kids. We need to give them the best foot forward, and a lot of that means fixing ourselves.